All right, Mr. Smith, we're ready to call your files.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good, sir.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh, all right, Miss Ryan, you're here for your 9 o'clock. We're going to call a couple cases in front of you, okay?
Do you want me to call back or something?
No, you're fine. Just if you hear us have a hearing, it's because I've called a couple cases in front of you.
Okay.
So we're on the record in docket 1701644. Make sure I get that is Lafque versus Jonathan Spinner. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
For plaintiff Lafque, Tim Smith, P48259.
This is time set for a discovery proceeding, and I'm checking to make sure that there's a little bit of a history in this. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Smith, but Mr. Spinner has not appeared previously. I have several failed to appear. I also have a note from our civil department that file review during inventory found 2 bench warrants in files, 2 bench warrant together in jail with first bench warrant modified by second bench warrant. That was on February 16, 2023. I do have your subpoena. It went to the Jolly address. Is that correct? That Jolly Road address?
Yeah, and for Mr. Spinner, we were unable to obtain goods or service that we were confident or that would be valid for the court. We did fax down on the 24th an email to the clerk canceling because we were unable to serve him.
All right. So I'm going to indicate that that plaintiff appeared and this hearing was canceled because of lack of service.
Correct. We're going to stay after it, though. He's been difficult.
Say that again?
We're going to stay after it, though. He's been difficult. We're going to get another.
All right. Yeah. This is. It looks like this goes back to 2019, 2020, 2021, and then in February. But we will await to hear from you concerning your service issues.
Perfect. Thanks for the help.
All right. All right, so that's all for the record 1701644. And then we're on the record. That's both to Jonathan Spinner and Maria Castillo Spinner. Then we have on the record in docket 2100418. That's Lafque versus Ed Montalvo Villasenor. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
The plaintiff, Tim Smith, P48259.
Okay. I also have, according to they don't have personal service on this file, but I did look, and I think there is a posting on this one.
We did effectuate alt service pursuant to the court's order. I would note for the file, or just for the record, that the alt service address is the same address where we've had prior personal service on the defendant.
All right. Yeah, and that's the 5011 Stafford Avenue, Lansing address.
Correct.
All right. So that was the alternate service on the Stafford home, which is that's your last. I see that you went to the post office, and that's the address they gave you.
Correct. That was the address he was personally served at when the filed. We've had prior points of contact there. We know him to be there, which I believe is why when we filed our motion for alt service, we'd done all of our due diligence. We know he's there. We did a check. The court agreed, granted us alt service. I'm very confident in the alt service, Your Honor.
All right, so this was scheduled for 8:30. It is now 8:52. Defendant received alt service at last known address. It would appear that the defendant has failed to appear for this discovery proceeding. Mr. Smith, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, in light of the strength of the alt service, the prior history with personal service at the address in question, we know him to be there. I'd ask the court to allow us to file a motion to show cause, but have service via mailing to that same Stafford address rather than paying as much money as we've paid in the past, sending court officers there repeatedly to the address. He's inside waving through the window at the court officer. I would hope that the court would allow, in light of the strength of the alt service, just 9-day mailing on a motion to show cause.
All right, so the court will accept a motion for a motion to show cause from yourself, Mr. Smith. Motion to show cause to be followed, and then we'll go from there.
All right, we'll get it filed. I appreciate your help, Your Honor. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
With the individual on the iPhone, please identify yourself. You just entered. That's the person on the iPhone.
Yeah.
Not you, Miss
Clarence.
Ryan. Miss Clarence.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Stevens, I have you and I have Miss Ryan. With the person who unidentified person on the iPhone who just joined, please indicate who you are.
The query is Bradford.
Aquarius.
That's my client, and I'll need to speak to him.
All right. Is that a 9:30 or? So, Mr. Bradford, I'm going to place you in a room with your public defender once they join. Okay, sir?
Yes.
All right. And then with the person on the phone, 4288, with the last four numbers, 4288, please identify yourself.
Hazel Duke?
All right. Ms. Duke, your case has been dismissed, and you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom.
Okay, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
My roommate is here with me also, that, on my phone, which is Miss Welch.
I don't have Miss Welch on my docket today. Oh, is that Penny Welch?
Yes.
Okay, I have her at 9:30 today.
That case is also dismissed.
It's okay. Let me double check to see if that case is also dismissed.
Okay.
So, Miss Duke, Miss Welch's case was also dismissed yesterday. Yesterday. So, Miss Welch and Miss Duke, you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom. Both your files have been dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. You're all set.
Okay, bye-bye.
Mr. Bradford, you need to join room 1 with your public defender, Aaron Robinson. You should have got a prompt to go to room 1 or join room 1. Mr. Stevens, you applied to the public defender's office and were denied, so you're without counsel today?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Hello? Right. My still.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Is this the judge or what? I'm so confused. Like,
Ms. Ryan and Mr. Stevens, the courtroom can hear you, so you might want not to speak or to mute yourself.
oh, okay.
So, Ms. Ryan, we're going to place you in a breakout room with your public defender, Ms. Sutter, okay?
Okay.
Right. I think you may get will she get a prompt? You'll get a prompt to go to the room. All right.
Oh, sure, I gotta get on Zoom.
I think we'll just take you there because you're on a cell phone.
Okay. Okay.
That's your client. So, Mr. Arbizu, we'll call your case. All right, so we're on the record in dockets 23014441, 42, 43, and 44. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Christine Arbizu. Will the parties please introduce themselves from the record from the people?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Michael Anderson on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Arbizu, who does appear via Zoom.
And ma'am, you are Kristen Arbizu, and you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yes.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pre-trial, People of the State of Michigan pre-trial. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding today?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I believe the parties would agree and stipulate to adjourning this matter for about 2 weeks. That would be, I believe, solely for the purpose of working through and determining what, if any, restitution would be owed. The people have made an offer for the defendant to plead to a civil infraction in this matter with restitution. However, the restitution amount is still to be determined. And so with that, like I said, I believe the parties would ask for an adjournment of about 2 weeks in order to determine that restitution amount and then take the plea at that time.
All right, Mr. Anderson, is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to indicate all parties appeared. We'll set for plea. And restitution determination. For a plea, let's set it for plea in 2 weeks. Because it's going to be a civil, I think it will be a civil infraction. If restitution is not determined, then we'll deal with that. But. So August 8th at 8:30. So August 8th at 8:30, we've set it for plea on the civil infraction, and restitution is to be determined at that time. Anything else for the record in dockets 23-01-441, 42, 43, or 44? Mr. Brodowitz.
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Anderson.
No, Judge. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Arvisu, you're all set. We'll see you on that August 8th date. Okay, ma'am?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That's okay in Zoom. Yep. You're right, it is.
And I'm ready on Mr. Bradford too.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's any here.
Yeah.
I'll call your case next, Ms. Robinson. Let me just finish making some notes. Good. All right, here's one of these ones. And we'll go on Mr. Bradford. We're on the record, Mr. Bradford, we'll call your file. We're on the record in docket 23-01876. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Decarius Bradford. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Bradford.
And sir, you are Decarius Bradford, and you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yes.
Okay. And you can hear me all right, Mr. Bradford?
Yes, sir.
All right. This time set for City of Atlanta, I'm sorry, people of the state of Michigan pretrial. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding today?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer for Mr. Bradford to plead to the count of domestic violence with 76948 if eligible. With that, I would leave it to the defense.
All right, Ms. Robinson?
We're gonna set this for final pretrial and jury trial, please.
Okay, we'll set for final pretrial and jury trial. Final pretrial date will be August 8th at 8:30. That'll be live. And the jury will be on August 22nd at 8:30. At 8 o'clock. I knew that. All right. So, Mr. Bradford, please keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Robinson. You're set for final pretrial. That'll be live on August 8th at 8:30. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record? Docket 23-01876, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today, Mr. Bradford. You're free to leave the Zoom courtroom. Mr. Brodowitz, did you want to just put Mr. Stevens on the, he is not have an attorney. So if you want to put it on just on the record, or did you want to meet with them? He's a domestic violence.
Yeah. I don't know if he's made an indication if he wishes to retain counsel or not.
He's, well, we can find out right now.
If he does, then no, if not, I can speak with him.
Mr. Stevens, you are not represented by counsel. You've been denied by the public defender. Did you intend to retain your own counsel in this matter?
No,
No?
no. Mm-mm.
All right. I may put you when we get a chance here, I'll put you in a breakout room with the assistant prosecutor and he can talk to you. Okay, sir?
All right.
You want to be? No, there you are. I want to be. Leave.
Mr. Stevens, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with assistant prosecutor Jeff Brodowitz, okay?
011461.
All right, Mr. Tucker, you're here for your 9:30.
Yes,
All right, stand by. We've got some cases to call in front of you. Do you have an attorney today?
I signed up for a court appointing. I don't know how that works, but when I was there,
All
I
right,
signed in for.
so you
court
made
appointing.
application. So you made application to the public defender's office.
I guess when I was there, she asked me did I want a public defender. I told her yes.
All right,
Yeah, Your Honor, he's mine.
all right. All right. And then on Nessa's Galaxy, would you please indicate who you are?
Excuse me.
Who, on Nessa's Galaxy, who, identify yourself. That's you, sir, with a headphone, with a ear.
Oh, it's John
Phone.
Sherman. John Sherman.
John Sherman. All right.
Yeah.
That's my case, Your Honor.
All right. And your public defender is Miss Robinson, and you're here for your 9:30?
Yep.
All right. Stand by.
What if somebody use a different phone? It should change the name.
I don't think she's able to do it herself on the phone.
All right, Mr. Sherman, we're going to put you in a breakout room, or you should get a prompt to go to a breakout room with Miss Robinson when she joins.
Okay.
So you'll be in room 3.
Hell no.
And Miss Ryan, we can hear everything that's going on in the Zoom courtroom. All right, Miss Ryan, we'll place your case. We'll call your case. We're on the record in docket 23-01887. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Paige Ryan. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Radovitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Ryan, who joins us via Zoom.
And ma'am, you are Paige Ryan?
Yes.
And you can hear me all right, Miss Ryan?
Yes, I can.
All right, this is the time set for pretrial. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer for the defendant to plead to an added count 2 of disorderly jostling. And the people would have, I guess, no objection or consent. However, I'm not sure how it's worded exactly, to HYTA if eligible. And with that, the people would dismiss count 1. However, I believe after conversations with defense counsel, that the defendant would like to leave this set for final pretrial.
All right, Ms. Sutter?
That's correct, Your Honor. She thanks the prosecution for that offer, wants to continue thinking on it and have the final pretrial.
All right, final pretrial is set for August 8th at 8:30.
Jury just meetings,
Yeah,
August 22nd.
and we'll do the jury trial on August 22nd at 8 o'clock. So, Ms. Ryan, your final pretrial is set for August 8th at 8:30. That'll be live.
You said
And it's
August 8th?
corresponding August 8th at 8:30.
Okay.
And your corresponding jury trial is August 22nd at 8 o'clock. All right, ma'am?
Okay, so I have one on the 8th and one on the 22nd. Are they both the same time?
No, the final pretrial is at 8:30 and the jury trial is at 8.
Okay, so 8:30 and 8. Okay.
Right. Please keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Sutter, and we'll see you on
Okay.
August 8th at 8:30. Anything else for the record? In docket 2301-887, Mr. Brodowitz.
Just briefly, Your Honor, Ms. Sutter and I have had conversations, and I believe they would make the request for the defendant to be able to appear by Zoom for that final pretrial. The people would have no objection to that.
All right.
As I believe the defendant has some transportation issues. And with that, the people would also, I guess, like to request, and I believe the defense has no objection to the complaining victim in this matter appearing by Zoom, as well as I believe he lives in Jackson.
Shake it.
I don't have,
No.
as long as there's no objection. So, Ms. Ryan,
Yes.
you can appear on that August 8th date by Zoom, okay?
Okay. Okay, is it the same
All right.
ID number, same judge?
Same thing, same number, same judge. So
Okay.
so you know exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then the complaining victim can also appear by Zoom on that final pretrial date. You will, if we go to trial, you'll have to appear, of course, at live. That'll be a live jury trial, but on that August 8th date, you can appear by Zoom, okay, ma'am?
Okay.
All right. Anything else for the record, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people.
Ms.
Your Honor.
Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right, you're all set.
Okay, that doesn't-
Ms. Ryan, we'll see you on that August 8th date. Thank you for your appearance today. And Ms. Ryan, you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was an outstanding transaction.
I have somebody's in jail.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's that
Yeah,
is.
that's, I think I put that in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, do you want to go on Miss Martin?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Martin, you can come up here.
Okay.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 2300198. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Jamisha Martin. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, appearing on behalf of Ms. Martin, who is standing to my right.
And ma'am, you are Jamisha Martin?
Yes.
All right, and you can hear me all right, Miss Martin?
Yes.
All right, it's time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer that if the defendant were to comply and proceed to get her operator's license, then the people would dismiss for compliance.
Ms. Sutter?
That's correct, Your Honor, and we would be requesting 30 days for Ms. Martin to come into compliance.
What is that?
So done.
All right. So for Ms. Martin, for compliance purposes, you've heard the offer. I'm going to set this out for 30 days. You're at 35 days right now. We're going to set this out for 30 days for compliance purposes. So what date is that?
August 22nd.
It'll be August 22nd
Okay.
at 9 o'clock. All right, so we'll reset this for August 22nd at 9 o'clock. please keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Sutter, provide her with any paperwork she needs, and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else for the record in 23-00198, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you. You're all set.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, actually, give me 1 second. I've already done that.
Did you let me know if you're ready on Peebles?
I think we are.
All
Yes.
right,
And then I'm ready to go on Stevens here as well.
let's do Peebles. So make sure we're all working from the same. All right. So we're on the record in docket 22-02701. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Lewis Peebles. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Peoples, who joins us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Lewis Devon Peebles?
Devon Peoples, yes.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a competency review. And Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding today?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe, as based on the report that was submitted, Mr. Peebles was found to be, at least at the time, incompetent, but I believe able to be made competent. And so at this time, the people would proceed in attempting to have Mr. Peebles become competent in order to proceed in this matter.
And there is my understanding. So you're talking about the report done on July 5th, 2023, and by Megan Rowland from the Center for Forensic Society. That's what you're referring to. Is that correct?
I believe there's a report from July 14th, Your Honor, that was, looks like it was sent out by an Andrea Vandenberg.
Oh, she's the director.
Oh, sorry.
Dr. Rowland's.
Sorry, Dr. Rowland.
So yes, I think we are all discussing the same.
Right, that's the same. That was for, let's see. All right. So that's the same. That's from the hospital director on July 14th, Andrea Vandenberg. And then there was also a criminal responsibility done, of course, with the person found, a competency requirement found. But all those are what we're referring to. Is that your understanding, Ms. Sutter?
It is, Your Honor. I believe they attempted to do a criminal responsibility and could not, given Mr. Peebles' current mental state.
Correct. That's my understanding. So I have an order in front of me that the Center for Forensic Psychiatry finds the defendant is incompetent to stand trial but restorable. There's a substantial probability the defendant, if provided a course of treatment, will obtain a competence to stand trial within the time limit established by law. The defendant shall undergo treatment to render the defendant competent to stand trial. And then there's an A, B, and C along with that, with all three of that checkbox. And that's the order that I'll sign today in regards to the to the restoration of competency. Is that what you're requesting, Mr. Brodowitz?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Sutter?
If I may just very briefly, Your Honor, I have no disagreement and no objection to the finding of incompetency here. I will note a couple of things in the report. First, just a personal matter, I suppose, there was attempted phone consolation is what it says with defense attorney Lauren Sutter on 7-5. I reviewed my phone history. I have no missed calls from the Center for Forensic Psychiatry or Dr. Rowland specifically.
All right.
I worked with her in previous cases. I can't find any message from her. I would be happy to talk to her. In regards to their opinion as to likely to attain competence, I believe under the statute, they have a third of the maximum penalty time to attempt restoration. My math brings that to 3 months. He's already been hospitalized and medicated for well over the 3 months already and has been no closer made to restoration of competence since then. So I'm a little doubtful as to their ability to restore competence in that time frame, and I would ask the court to keep that in mind.
Okay.
Otherwise, I have nothing else on this report.
All right, so I have put a third of the sentence is, so we're looking at 3 months.
Correct.
Yeah. In that time frame.
Right.
All right. Okay, so with that understanding, I'll sign the order. And I think we should set a date prior to that 3 month time. I mean, that would be. Right.
I guess I'm a little ignorant as to whether it should be before the 3 months or after.
Well, I'm thinking before, because it's been my experience that if we set it for maybe 60 days and don't have anything in hand.
You're not going to in the 30
Well,
days after.
I'm going to start show causing people to get to get a report done.
I can see that.
You know, I mean, or let's figure out, we need a report, and 30 days is 30 days, but I hate to do it after and not have the report, and then we got a problem.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I was thinking 30 days for an internal review. So August 22nd at 9.
Okay, so let's, for that, that's not a hearing, that's just our review, right?
I put it on the calendar as a review, but I also mentioned that it was just an internal review.
Okay, so I will look at this case again, internal review. For what date?
August 22nd at 9.
At 9, just because I worry about these cases falling through the cracks. Yeah.
That's fair, Your Honor. I would share that.
And then let's do a 60-day review, just so we know where it stands.
And is that one internal, or would you like the attorney?
No,
present?
let's all show up for that. So the internal review, so I look at it in 30 days just to see if anything's been done. And then in 60 days, let's set it for a full hearing. Yeah, for competency. On
So there's
September
no way
9th.
I can just plead guilty? There's no way I can just plead guilty?
Not at this point. You're not until they see you and they do a report indicating that you're capable of being restored, because at this point, that's not an option. It could be an option given some time, but it's not an option today.
And it's only it's a 90-day to a year misdemeanor though. I've been in here already almost 4 months.
It's a 1 year at this point. It's still a 1 year, but we want to make sure that we get you and seen by the right people before we're able to go forward in the case. So right now I'm reviewing it on August 22nd, and then we'll make sure that the Center for Forensic Psychiatry is doing what they're supposed to do. Anything else for the record in docket 22027001, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people.
Ms. Sutter? All right, Mr. Peebles, you're all.
I'm losing my job and I'm just sitting in the county though.
I understand, sir.
I can't get
you're all set today.
I can't get a bond.
Not at this time. We're kind of waiting for the Center for Forensic Evaluation at this point. So once we get a follow up, that's how we'll deal with it, which is our only option at this point. So that's all for the record. 22027001. You're all set, Mr. Peebles. And then did you want to go on Stevens?
Yes.
I'm also ready on Sherman, Judge.
On Sherman? All right. All right, so we're on the record. Mr. Stevens, we'll call your case.
Okay.
We're on the record in docket 2301908. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Clarence Stevens. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And sir, you are Clarence Stevens?
Yes, sir.
You can hear me all right, Mr. Stevens?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. And you've indicated for the record that you applied to the public defender's office, were denied, and you at this point do not plan to seek your own retained counsel. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. Mr. Brodowitz, you had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Stevens in a breakout room. How are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe at this time, based on my conversations with Mr. Stevens, that he will be accepting the people's offer of pleading to the domestic violence with 76948 if eligible.
It offers is domestic assault with 769-4A status. I think I want to do that live.
If eligible.
Yeah, since it's a plea to a misdemeanor. So let's set that for plea. Okay. So Mr. Stevens, since it's a misdemeanor and I want to go through your rights with you concerning this matter, we're going to set that for a plea date. And then we'll go from there on the plea date. So what's the time frame, Mr. Brodowitz, for a plea date?
I mean, as soon as the court is available.
So let's do. We'll do August 1st at 9 o'clock. Okay, that's live. So that'll be a live hearing. So you'll plead live and then we'll get you all set up with probation. But in order to do that, I want to walk you through your advice of rights on this misdemeanor plea. So we'll set it for August 1st at 9 a.m. That's the 6th floor of the City Hall of Lansing. Anything else for the record in docket 23-01908, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Stevens, we'll see you on that August 1st at 9 o'clock date, okay?
Okay, is there a paper or any type of email that I'll receive?
Yeah,
I just have to write this down.
You'll get notice of that in the mail at the same address you got for this one, which is let me make sure I have your address correct. At that Turner address.
Okay.
All right. So that'll be sent to your Turner address, but for the record, it's August 1st at 9 and it's here in this building on the 6th floor. Okay, sir?
Okay.
All right. Well, is that Turner Street? I've got on the complaint.
But this is from the arraignment.
So is that Turner Street address? Is that where you want the notice sent, sir? We have a Kalamazoo address in the computer.
Just send it to the Turner address.
All right. We'll send it to the Turner address. All right. That's all for the record. 23-01908.
Okay.
All right. We're all set. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you.
Sir, on the Motorola cell phone, would you please identify yourself in the car? Yeah, you'll have to unmute yourself, sir.
Hear me now?
A little bit. What's your name?
John Langen.
John Langen, you're here for your 9:30?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You're breaking up you're breaking up on your service, so is your attorney,
It's my case.
okay. All right, Mr. Langen, you're breaking up on your service, so we're having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, might be a bit better right here.
All right. All right. Stand by and your public defenders here. I'm going to call another case in front of you. And you'll have to, we're going to mute you.
Okay.
So we're on the record in docket 22-00477. That is People of the State of Michigan versus John Sherman. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Sherman.
And Mr. Sherman, you'll have to unmute yourself. You are John Sherman. You are John Sherman, sir?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for a People of the State of Michigan pretrial. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer for Mr. Sherman to plead to count 1 domestic violence with 7694A if eligible. With that, I would leave it to the defense.
Ms. Robinson.
I did
Your
not.
Honor, we would set this for final pre-trial and jury trial.
Okay. Okay, the final pretrial date is set for August 8th at 8:30. That's a live pretrial. And then the jury trial is set for
August 22nd.
August 22nd at 8 o'clock. That's also live. All right, so Mr. Sherman, we've set your final pretrial on August 8th at 8:30. Please be here on the City of Lansing 6th floor for that live hearing. And then jury trial set for August 22nd at 8 o'clock. Anything else for the record in docket 22-00477, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Sherman, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Can I get a breakout room, Mr. Lang?
Ms. Vinsky's here. Is that an attorney? Ms. Vinsky, what case are you here on? Are you here on Thomas Brown?
Correct, Your Honor.
If I could get a breakout.
All right, when you join, we'll put you in a breakout room with Ms. Vinsky.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Langen, you should get a prompt to go to room 3 with your public defender, okay? Mr. Brown, your attorney is meeting with the assistant prosecutor at this point, okay? You have to unmute yourself. And with the person on the cell phone Moto G Play 2023, please identify themselves. Not connected, okay.
Yep, back in now. Hey, you go. What you end up whooping up, bro?
Mr. Tucker, we're gonna put you on mute until we call your case, all right, sir?
Okay.
Ma'am, on the cell phone, Moto G Play, would you please identify yourself?
Christina Adams.
Christina Adams, you're here for your 10 o'clock?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. You're in the right place. Stand by. We're going to call a couple cases in front of you, okay?
Okay, that's fine, Your Honor.
Ms. Vinsky, would you like to meet with your client?
Yes, please, just for a minute.
All right, Mr. Brown, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with your attorney, Ms. Vinsky. All right, sir?
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, Ms. Vinsky, you will both get a prompt to go to room 3. All right, Ms. Vinsky, we can call your case now. We're on the record in docket 23-01491 and 23-01768. I'm sorry, 23-01491 and 23-01492. That's People of the State of Michigan versus Thomas Brown. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Marissa Vinsky on behalf of Thomas Brown, who is appearing via Zoom. I had to find him for a second.
All right, and sir, you are Thomas Brown, and you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yes,
All right, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Brown?
yes.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe at this time, we have come to a plea in this matter, and that would be for the defendant, Mr. Brown, to plea or accept responsibility. I'm not exactly sure on the language, to a civil infraction under MCL 324.504.
Okay, hold on just a second, and let me see. So is that on 9-1 or 9-2?
That would, I believe, be on 9-1, Your Honor.
Okay, and that would be a civil infraction offer of, and that's, what's the date, what's the number on that?
The MCL 324.504.
0.504. And what is that usually called? What's the?
That is the Department of Natural Resources Rules for Protection and Preservation of Land and Property. But if you'd like a different civil infraction, we've come up with a couple of.
That's fine. I mean, I read.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just making sure that we have something that a civil infraction that works with our computer system.
Okay.
How's that?
If it helps, Your Honor, the reason we chose this one is my office and the prosecutor's office has used this code before, but I also can give you a littering one if that works as well.
Yeah.
You found it? Yes. And what's the penalty? What is the fine on that civil infraction?
Of not more than $500.
I said it. Okay.
Yeah, not more than 500.
Not more than 500. All right. And what do you want to call that, Ms. Vinsky?
Just say DNR.
DNR violation?
That is perfect.
Okay. All right. So with an acceptance of responsibility, and Ms. Vinsky, will you be accepting responsibility on behalf of your client on that civil infraction?
Yes, I would accept responsibility and just note that both of the misdemeanor tickets would be dismissed. I don't want to.
So that's so this is a dismissal of the MDOP on that same ticket, and then a dismissal per negotiations file dismissed on the dog at large. All right, so let me make sure I've got this, and then we can walk through the admission of responsibility with a plea to the civil infraction, the DNR civil infraction, under 324.504. The file 23-01491, the misdemeanor files to be dismissed, and then I'm also dismissing 23-01492. Dog at large files to be dismissed. Is that my understanding of the plea offer, Mr. Brodowitz?
Yes, Your Honor, and just for the record as well, Mr. Brown has also provided compliance for the dog at large, so the people, like I said, wouldn't be dismissing that as part of this. And I just wanted to put that on the record.
All right, and that's your understanding, Ms. Vinsky, is with a plea to the civil infractions, both misdemeanors will be dismissed.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Brown, that's your understanding. Ms. Vinsky will be accepting responsibility of the civil infraction, and both misdemeanors are to be dismissed. The fine can be no greater than $500. Is that your understanding, Mr. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Vinsky, just so we're working from the same ticket, this is more insurance than anything. I'm referring to ticket 23980000533 that on the 700 block of Ottawa Street in the city of Lansing on the date of May 9th, 2023, you're accepting responsibility for your client violating DNR regulations pursuant to 324.504. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. I'm gonna set fines in this matter pursuant to that at $200. And does Ms. Minsky, does your client need some time to make that payment to the city of Lansing?
No, he can pay now, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Brown, I'm going to set it just to be safe. We'll set it. Today is the 25th. We'll have payment due by the 28th, just in case there's any technological problems, or just to give you just to buy you some time. So the $200 fine to the city of Lansing will be paid by July 28th at 4 o'clock. And of course, sir, you can make that payment online. You can mail it in, or you can just come to the window on the 6th floor. All right, Mr. Brown?
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So it's $200 by July 28th at 4. And then I have this misdemeanor file is dismissed. I go writing too much in the files, okay? And the file dismissed. Anything else for the record in 23-01491 or 92, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Finsky, do you have any questions or anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor. Just have a great day.
You too, thank you. Mr. Brown, you're all set. Thank you for your Zoom appearance, and you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom.
Thanks.
I got perfect reception right here.
So we're on the record in docket 20-00707. That is People of the State of Michigan versus John William Langen. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Brodowitz.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Langen.
And sir, you are John Langen?
Yes, Judge, I am.
All right, you can hear me, Mr. Langen?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
All right, this is the time set for a pre-trial on this matter. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer for Mr. Langen to plead to be an added count 2 of retail fraud third, with a killabrew to fines and costs, and an agreement to restitution to Dicker and Deal here in Lansing.
All right, and Ms. Sutter?
Ms. Robinson.
I'm sorry, Ms.
Langen,
Robinson.
That's okay. Mr. Langen wishes to accept that offer.
All right. So my preference, since there's a restitution, is to set this for a plea date. And then just do the same with the killabrew and everything.
That's
Then
okay, but he lives 2 hours away, so
Does
that's,
he?
yeah, that's kind of.
And I have a receipt, Your Honor, that I believe was provided in discovery for from Dicker and Deal for the amount.
For the restitution amount. So we
Yes.
can, so since the killabrew agreement is fines and sentence and you have a restitution amount.
Yes.
I think we can go today.
That's fine.
If he's 2 hours away. All right. So Mr. Langen, that's your understanding. The offer at this time. So I'll make sure I have it, is a plea to count 2 of retail fraud. In the 3rd degree. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
In the 3rd degree, which is punishable by 93 days and or $500.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct.
And that is that's PAC code 750.356 D4.
D4. All right. And then there's a killabrew agreement of fines and costs, and then restitution.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So, Mr. Langen, is that your understanding? You'll be pleading guilty today to count 2 retail fraud in the 3rd degree, which is pursuant to 750.356 D4. It has a maximum penalty, excuse me, of 93 days and or $500. There is a killabrew agreement to immediate sentencing of fines and costs and restitution. Do we have a number for restitution up front?
Yes, Your Honor. That restitution amount would be $35.
$35. Is that your understanding, Mr. Langen?
It is, sir.
All right. All right. So in relation to this case, by plea, I'm going to walk you through some of your misdemeanor rights in this case, and then we'll go from there. So, sir, you understand in this misdemeanor case, if your plea is accepted, you will not have any trial of any kind, and so you'll be giving up the following trial rights that you would have at trial. You'd be giving up the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question the witnesses against you. You, of course, are represented by attorney Erin Robinson, and she would be present at trial to cross-examine any witnesses and contest any charges brought against you. You also have the right to have the court order any witnesses appear in your defense, to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises other than the stated killabrew agreement or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty, You'd also be giving up any appeal rights from trial. Since you won't be having a trial, you'll be pleading guilty. Is it your intent today? Are you requesting that you waive your rights and plead guilty to retail fraud in the third degree, Mr. Langen?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay, I'm gonna have you raise your right hand as best you can. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, I'm gonna bring your attention back pursuant to the retail fraud on or about October 21st, 2019 at the offense location of American Road in the city of Lansing. Were you on American Road in the city of Lansing on October 21st, 2019?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you steal property from Dicker and Deal under the sale price of $200?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Okay. What exactly do you take without paying at Dicker and Deal? What did you take?
Your Honor, to be honest with you, I can't quite remember exactly what it was. At that time I had I was an opiate heroin addict for many years, and I recently have got, so it like I can't really remember a lot of that time.
All right, but at that time you did take something that was open to the public from Dicker and Deal and didn't pay for it. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Brodowitz.
Just quick clarification, just for the record, it's based on the addresses and location. It would have been, I believe, the store on American Road was Lowe's. Is where it was.
Oh, you're saying a Dicker and Deal then? Okay, so
Based
Lowe's is fine too.
Yes.
Yeah, they're both in the city of Lansing. So, but
Yes.
we can, okay.
Just so the address
all right.
matches the.
So that's the Lowe's store, Mr. Langen, is that correct? In the city of Lansing? All right. All right. I have various items that's a part of this. Anything towards the factual basis, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people here.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. I find the factual basis to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. I will abide by the Killebrew agreement in this and go to fines and costs and restitution only. The fines there'll be a $75 crime victims' rights fee. There'll be a $50 state fee. There'll be a $35 for restitution. And that is to Dicker and Deal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'll set fines at $125 and costs at $125. So for a grand total of $75 crime victims' right fee plus $50 state fee plus $35 restitution plus $250 for fines and costs are $410. Does your client need some time to make that payment to the city of Lansing?
He does.
How much time are you looking for, Ms. Robinson?
Probably like 30 days at least to get started with some payments.
Let's do 60 days and he can set his own installment plan if
Sure.
he needs it. So, all right. So I'm gonna set $410 to the city of Lansing would be due by, let's see, August. Let's make it the end of September. By September 29th. September 29th at 4 o'clock. So, Mr. Langen, you've got an outstanding debt of $410 to the city of Lansing. You have till September 29th to pay that debt at 4 o'clock. And you can kind of set up your own installment payments by coming in and paying towards that as you need. But it should all be paid for by September 29th at 4 o'clock. Okay, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else for the record at 20-00707, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Do I sign this for just Mr. Brodowitz?
Yeah, I forgot. Did I need to sign?
What's that? Just need it.
I think I. Do I need to sign?
Yeah. Cool. We'll say you have to.
Yeah.
You're all set, Mr. Langen.
So you're all set, Mr. Langen. Thank you for your appearance. Okay, sir?
Okay, thank you for your time.
All right.
Hope that was the file.
I think it will.
Oh, great.
Then did you want to go Miss Teams?
Yes, we already have Ms. Teams and Mr. Tucker.
All right, let's go Miss Teams.
Excuse me.
Miss Adams, can we help you?
Yes. Am I on the wrong thing?
Nope, you're in the right place. We're just calling cases in front of you. Your attorney is Miss Sutter, and she'll be with you just as soon as she's done with some of these other cases.
Okay.
All right, so stand by. I'm gonna mute you, ma'am, since we can hear your dog barking in the courtroom. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-01730-31, 32, and 33. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Cheryl Teams. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Browitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Teams, who is standing to my right.
And ma'am, you are Cheryl Teams?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial on the matter. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer, and just what I'll put it on the record is that the defendant, I believe, would plead to the count or plead to the dog bite with restitution, dismiss the dog MDOP, and then the people would also dismiss the unlicensed dog and the dog at large with proof of securing the dog and the dog's license. However, after conversations with the defense, I believe the parties would be asking for a brief adjournment of 2 weeks in this matter to look into the possibility of diversion in this matter.
All right. So adjournment for 2 weeks to look in the diversion program. So we will set this as close to 2 weeks as we can. I don't know what. August seems to be a popular month.
August 8th at 9 a.m.
Okay, so we'll set it August 8th at 9 a.m. And that's for to look into diversion. All right, so anything else on the record in docket 17303, 32, and 33? We've adjourned those matters to August 8th at 9 a.m. In order to explore any diversion possibilities. Mr. Brodowitz.
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter? All right, Ms. Teams, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today. Yeah, if you hang out, we'll give you a notice right now. Should do that. We're on the record docket 22-01395. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Anthony Tucker. And Mr. Tucker, you can unmute yourself. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, on behalf of Mr. Tucker, who joins us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Anthony Tucker, is that correct?
Yes,
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Tucker?
yes.
All right, Mr. Brodowitz, this is the time set for a state of Michigan pretrial. How are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer for Mr. Tucker to plead to an added count 2 of disorderly person jostling with a Killebrew agreement to fines and costs only. And with that, I would leave it to the defense.
Ms. Sutter.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've discussed that offer with Mr. Tucker. He thinks the prosecution for it would like to consider it, and we would ask for a final pretrial jury trial.
All right, final pretrial is set for August 8th. August 8th at 8:30. And jury trial is set for August 22nd at 8. So, Mr. Tucker, we've set your final pretrial on August 8th at 8:30. That'll be a live pretrial on the 6th floor of the city of Lansing. It's also set on August 22nd at 8, and that's a jury trial. Of course, that'll be live also. Please keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Sutter, in regards to both of those dates. Anything else on the record in docket 22-01395, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Tucker, we'll see you on August 8th at 8:30, okay, sir?
All right.
All right, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Sure.
And then we can go on Mr. Garrett, right?
Yes, and Your Honor, just briefly for that, can I be put into a breakout room with Ms. Adams?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I'm still on room 2.
So, Ms. Adams, I'm going to place you in a breakout room. You'll get a prompt to go to room 2 to be there with your public defender. All right, ma'am? And then we're on the record in docket 23-01768. That is people of the state of Michigan versus James Garrett. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Garrett.
And sir, you are James Garrett?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial on the state of Michigan case. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer for the defendant to plead to the count of domestic violence with 76948 if eligible. And then with that, I would leave it to the defense.
Ms. Robinson.
Your Honor, we're going to set it for final pretrial and jury trial at this time.
We'll set for final pretrial August 8th at 8:30. And jury trial August 22nd at 8. All right, so Mr. Garrett, please keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Robinson. We're set for final pretrial on August 8th at 8:30. That'll be live. So just like you're here today, that'll be a live final pretrial. And then we've set it for jury trial on August 22nd at 8 o'clock, depending on what happens at the final pretrial. All right, sir? Okay. Anything else for the record in docket 23-01768, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your
Ms.
Honor.
Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Garrett, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today. Then we'll go on the record on Mr. Glasgow. So we're on the record in docket 20-01198. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Robert Glasgow. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Glasgow.
This is the time set for a pretrial. I do have a motion to compel concerning any discovery of unredacted items. As you know, the court's policy, Mr. Brodowitz and Ms. Robinson, is that unless the people indicate a reason why there is a redacted police report, they may have to come up with a reason. That is the court's policy that all police reports should be unredacted in regards to the case law that I've read. So, Mr. Brodowitz, with that understanding, any discovery in this matter, unless there's a reason why it's redacted, should be unredacted. I think you've heard me say that before.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. All right. With that understanding, on this file 20-01198, Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, the people have made an offer for the defendant to plead to a added count 2 of aggravated domestic violence with 76948. If eligible, people would then dismiss count 1. With that, I would leave it to the defense, but I'd also just like to say to the record that obviously the people will be providing an unredacted police report to the defense.
All right, thank you. Ms. Robinson?
Yes, Your Honor. We at this time would like to set this out for another pretrial date, probably like 30 days out at least. Just because I'm anticipating some additional discovery to come from those unredacted reports, as well as some investigation to stem from that.
All right. And I would make notice that this is not a run-of-the-mill misdemeanor matter. So we will set this pretrial out 30 days from today's for discovery and to provide any unredacted police reports or come up with a reason why it has to be redacted. And we'll set this for August 22nd at 9 a.m. All right, anything else for the record in docket 20-01198, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people.
Ms. Robinson?
No, not on this case, Judge, but he also has a probation violation that's set for 1:30, so I was thinking you could just handle it now.
So at 1:30. So I'll need that file if we've got them here. I think that's in the afternoon packets. Yeah. On that file, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Nathaniel. Have you seen the recommendation on the probation violation, Ms. Robinson?
I have.
Okay. There's one dated. I just want to make sure. So, all right, that's from Miss Bayless, and that's July 7th. Is that the one?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're on the record in docket 1701428. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Robert Glasgow. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Glasgow.
And sir, you are Robert Glasgow? Yes, sir. All right. This is a time set for a probation violation hearing, I believe. Miss Robinson, how are we proceeding?
This will be a plea.
All right. Let me find the complaint. My paperwork. Let's see. There we go. So if we're working from this, make sure we're working from the same document. This is I have a request for probation to compel probation for fail to make monthly payments and use of marijuana. And that's from February 26, 2018. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. All right. So, sir, you understand that you could have a hearing on these offenses and Ms. Robinson would be here to cross-examine any witnesses brought by the people against you or contest any charges brought. It's my understanding you wish to plead to both of these offenses. These would be considered technical offenses on today's date from that February 26, 2018 allegation. Is that my understanding, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
All right. So is it, so I'm gonna have to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? All right. Comes from a February 26, 2018 allegation that you failed to make monthly payments in regards to your probation. And how do you plead to that? Okay. And then as the second violation, that you use controlled substance without a prescription on February 26, 2018, that you tested positive for marijuana at Pat's. How do you plead to that? Okay. With that understanding, I find Mr. Glasgow's plea to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. Ms. Robinson, would you like to be heard on allocution?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask the court right now to terminate probation unsuccessfully for Mr. Glasgow and just have that be that. In regards to this case, it looks like this is from, these violations are from back in 2018. Mr. Glasgow thought at the time that he was finished with probation. Obviously, the probation officer that issued these violations is no longer around the department anymore. Didn't hear from him, thought that probation was over with and done with, and kind of went on his way, and until now has not had any new charges come up. Mr. Glasgow is the head of the household right now for his family. He does work 2 jobs at the moment and is the sole provider for his 2-year-old child as well as his girlfriend. His wife, excuse me, and that he needs to be there in the home doing that. And I don't think jail would really be an appropriate sanction for him at this time, considering how these are technical violations pending from about 5 years ago. So, Your Honor, I would just ask that you terminate his probation successfully at this point, or unsuccessfully at this point. I'm sorry.
So I have this started out as a larceny from a person in 2017, and then on April 7th of 2017, it pled guilty to count 2, which was looks like a retail fraud count. And then in 2017, defendant pled guilty to 10 days in jail, credit for 4 days in 2018. And then 30 days credit for 25 days on this file. And the guilty plea. So there was already a credit of 25 days. I'm trying to figure out how much time he got in on this file. Okay. And then we kind of lost track of you for a few years.
Yes, sir.
5 years.
Yes, sir. That's sorry. I'll be quiet.
So yeah, and what happened during those 5 years? Because between 2018 and 2023, we lost track of you.
Yes, sir. What happened? So I know that sounds weird to start it like that, but situation. Sorry. The situation, how it unfolded. Which situation are we talking about again? I'm sorry. I'm trying
to figure out how from 2000, we lost track of you from 2018 to 2023.
Okay. And that was probation and then lost track, right?
Yeah, just lost track. So you came to us, and now 5 years later, we're trying to figure out how to finish up your probation.
Miss
Robinson.
Miss Robinson. Like she just said, my probation officer informed me, when at my last visit with him, that he didn't have to see me anymore. Now, I didn't know if that was him saying I was done with probation or that he was not going to be my probation officer anymore.
Okay.
Never made that clear. So I took it as him saying, he doesn't need to see me anymore, that I was, completed with my probation. So I hate to say it like this, but I literally went about my life, got a job, started doing everything the right way.
Where are you working right now, sir?
I work at the Riv.
Okay.
The Riviera.
Right. That's the
East Lansing.
In East Lansing?
Yes, sir.
And how many hours do you work there?
I work about 40 hours.
Okay. And then do you have a second job you're working at also?
Yes, sir.
And where's that?
I cut lawns.
Okay.
I do my own. Sorry. not my business.
Well, this is an old file. There is a request to terminate probation, which I think is probably the answer. I have a current balance on your payments of 11,820 based on this. That seems to be awfully high to me.
11,000?
Yeah, but maybe it should have like a comma or a period there. So it's 1,182. Does that sound a little bit more? Because this stemmed from initially. See what the initial sentencing. I think larceny person. No, he pled guilty to, here, I've got the JOS right here. A guilty plea to A and B and a guilty plea to larceny under 200. And 12 months probation as of May 30th, 2017.
So the first now, the larceny, had a $40 late fee.
Your Honor?
Yes.
If I may, I'm looking at what I was sent, I believe by Ms. Holt or by Ms. Bayless from the probation department. And it looks like there was a cash code balance, looks like it was ran on 7/20 of 2023, which says that at the next date, which would be a violation of probation on 7/25/2023, the balance due on all counts was $1,182.
Okay, so
I can show it to you.
well, that makes sense. They needed to put a period in there.
Would you like to see it, Your Honor, just so you can?
Well, I'm trying, now we're trying to reconcile it with the computer.
I got that part. So we need to waive the $360 for probation oversight fees. I don't think for terminating probation, you need a report.
Refer to collections.
Yeah. Plus there's $157 in the late fee on count 2. And count 1 has a $40 late fee. It's at your discretion to waive.
Yeah, so because of the age of the file, and I don't want to reward you for losing track of us, but I'm going to terminate probation unsuccessfully. Okay, so all parties appeared. Defendant pled to probation violation allegations, and that is let me, because I want to make sure I got those. That is that's the order. All right, that's on February 26, 2018 to 26, 2018. Probation is unsuccessfully terminated. He is currently working. So I am going to unsuccessfully terminate your probation. No additional jail. And then I'm going to refer that underlying debt, which is, I'm going to waive all the late fees, and that'll be the $1,182 that was previously indicated.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to send that to collections. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
thank you,
so
sir.
Refer to collections the $1,182. So you'll have to stop by collections. Is that Marquita? I don't know who that is.
For lack of better today, sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not sure who is our collections anymore.
Department's on vacation, and
Right.
I just don't know who's handling
So
what.
go to, what is Marquita's last name?
Taylor.
Bayless. Taylor. And that's just write down, but go to the counter and indicate that your probation's been unsuccessfully terminated, and I referred the $1,182 debt to collections, and then they'll get you on some kind of program. And that way you can avoid any type of bench warrant or anything set up. You know, you don't want to start that cycle. But I only did the underlying rest, whatever that $1,182 is. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put waive any late fees on here. So it'll be somewhere under $1,182 once they waive all the late fees, okay? All right. Make sure you stop by the counter on the way out, just to make sure. Yeah. Just to make sure that you're all set. Anything else on the file 1701428, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Glasgow, you're all set, and we'll see you on your other file when that comes up, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Who's in Zoom?
It's a scary number. Alex Peoples, JV Childress.
I am ready on Turbin and Adams, Your Honor.
All right, Turbin is 10:30. Let's go on Adams.
Yes.
All right, Miss Adams, we'll call your cases. 6, 9, 5, 7. This is multiple file day. All right. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-1269, 23-1856, and 23-101857. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Adams, who joins us via Zoom.
And ma'am, you are Christina Adams?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you can hear me all right, Miss Adams?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial on a People of the State of Michigan case. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people have made an offer that if Ms. Adams is to provide licenses for the dogs, then the people would dismiss for compliance. However, after conversations with Ms. Sutter, I believe the defendant needs some time to get the money together for those licenses, and so I believe we would be asking for an adjournment.
All right, and Ms. Sutter, that adjournment would be for compliance purposes at this time?
That's correct, Your Honor. And Ms. Adams has indicated to me she would have the money on September 1st. So I understand it's slightly longer than usual, but I would ask the court to give us, I think the 4th is the Monday after that.
Okay. So how do we look? That's a holiday, I think.
Oh, well done. Is that Labor Day?
It'd be the 5th.
Am I wrong, Megan?
Because it'd be a Tuesday.
I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's for
Not city
compliance
days.
purposes.
Yeah, I believe it'd be the
5th.
5th, Your Honor.
Yeah.
So it would be the 5th.
September 5th. Yeah.
Was that's so
That's the
so we'll
Tuesday.
set it for 9/5 at 9 o'clock. 9/5 at 9 o'clock. 9. All right, Ms. Adams, please keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Sutter. You're set for September 5th at 9 a.m. on all 3 of your files. Make sure Ms. Sutter has any paperwork that might be deemed necessary for compliance purposes. All right, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So that's all for the record in docket 23-01269, 23-1856, or 23-1857. Anything else, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Adams, you're all set. You're free to leave the Zoom courtroom, and we'll see you on that September 5th date.
Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful day, Your Honor.
You too.
What's the date?
9 at 9 a.m.
Because 9/9 is
9/5.
Sorry, we're talking about.
Okay, another case. Yeah.
No, I was just looking at the calendar here, and so I want to make sure I didn't mishear the date.
9 at 9.
Okay, Your Honor, not to throw a monkey wrench into the situation here, but just in looking at my calendar here, I believe, and Ms. Sutter and I both have this, that the review hearing for Mr. Peebles for competency was set on September 9th at 9 a.m.
That was set for.
It won't let me set on a weekend, so I.
Well, that's why I was confused, because that's what we both heard. So.
Yeah. I'm here to throw a monkey.
I think I said that. I think it's 9/11.
So it's August 22nd for the internal review
Right.
and
And-
9/19.
19.
And
9/19.
Okay. For the review.
Perfect.
But our system won't let me set on a weekend.
You okay? Yeah, of course. You know. All right. You okay? Oh, so. I don't know what's going on. What's thinking about the middle? They say when you talk to somebody, you hope it's been like this.
And sir, you are Dustin Turbans? All right. This is the time set for a people of the state of Michigan pretrial. We have adjourned it previously for compliance purposes. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I have been provided proof of compliance by Ms. Sutter, so the people would be asking to dismiss this case for compliance.
All right. Any objection, Ms. Sutter?
Not at all.
All right, Mr. Turbin, that means this case, due to your compliance measures, is dismissed without prejudice. Means the people aren't going to proceed since you've met with compliance. So you're all set. This case is dismissed for today's purpose. All right, sir?
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. You're all set.
Have a good day.
You too. So I'll put people move to dismiss. Compliance purposes.
And then, Your Honor, to add to my list, Ms. Brown Smith, that case is also ready to go. We're similar to Mr. Smith. We're waiving the appearance
Yes.
to dismissal.
All right. Perfect.
And I'm ready on Mr. Childress whenever.
So that's Mr. Turbin. So let's do Mr. Smith now. And you and Ms. Robinson, you said you're ready on Mr.
Childress.
Childress. There we go. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-01565. 23-01566 and 23-01567. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, on behalf of Mr. Smith, I am waiving his appearance today.
All right. And you have no objection to the waiver of the appearance,
No
Mr.
objection.
Brodowitz? All right. This is the time set for a pretrial on a people of the state of Michigan. 3 files. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, Ms. Sutter has provided me compliance for counts 1. Well, on the ticket, it'd be 1 and 2, which would be the unlicensed dog and the dog at large. And so with that and some other information that it appears the parties are working among themselves, the people would be seeking to dismiss this ticket
Okay.
for compliance.
So we'll dismiss 23-01565 for compliance purposes. We'll dismiss, plaintiff moves to dismiss Prosecutor moves to dismiss for compliance 23-01566. And then the people will also move to dismiss 23-01567.
Correct.
And no objection.
All right, and that's all on a ticket. So all three files are dismissed without prejudice. Anything else for the record in docket 165, 66, or 67, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing on behalf of the people. Your
Ms.
Honor.
Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record in those three files. You said you're ready on Mr. Were you ready on any?
On Brown Smith.
Brown Smith. All right. That's similar to, that's when you said.
Yes.
Okay. So we're on the record in docket 23-01154. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Deshara Brown Smith. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Brown Smith. I will be waiving her appearance today.
All right, thank you.
People have no objection.
Thank you. This is time set for pretrial. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, this matter was adjourned prior for compliance. Defendant has provided the compliance that she has taken, I believe, taken and passed the driving test. So at this time, the people would be seeking to dismiss this case for compliance.
No objection.
Without objection, the case is dismissed per compliance by the people. Anything else for the record? 23-01154, Mr. Brodowitz.
Nothing from the people.
Ms.
Your
Sutter?
Honor.
Nothing further.
All right, thank you. And now we can go on Childress, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And
All right, Mr. Childress, we're ready on your case. We're on the record in docket 22-02910. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Javion Childress. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Childress.
And sir, you are Javion Childress?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
All right, thank you. And you can hear me all right, Mr. Childress?
Yes, sir.
All right, this time set for a pretrial after a compliance adjournment. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I have been provided by the defense with proof that the dog was given to a new home and that the dog actually now resides in Texas. So being as Mr. Childress no longer has possession of the dog, people would be moving to dismiss for compliance.
Okay, and I'm assuming there's no objection, Ms. Robinson?
Correct.
All right. So the ticket is dismissed per compliance. So without prejudice. So you should be all set today, Mr. Childress, on 22-02910. The file's been dismissed. All right, sir?
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else for the record? 22-02910, Mr. Brodowitz.
Nothing from the people.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set. Thank you, Mr. Childress.
Thank you for your time. You have a good day.
You too. So I've got Vargas. We've got Jackson, Vargas. That's People of the State of Michigan versus Joanne Jackson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Jackson.
Right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. This was set for 9:30. It is now 11:03. Ms. Jackson is not in the Zoom courtroom, the physical courtroom, and has not appeared since 9:30. Mr. Brodowitz, how would you like to proceed?
At this time, Your Honor, as the defendant has failed to appear, the people would ask that a bench warrant be issued and any bond be forfeited.
All right, Ms. Robinson.
We would ask for a 48-hour hold, Judge.
I don't have a previous failed to appear, so I'll issue a DFTA bench warrant bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold. Yes.
Yeah, and
Oh, she's got multiple warrants.
Just kidding.
for your, just for your honor, there was a prior, it was several weeks back, I can't remember the exact date, but there is an active felony case in front of
All
you.
right, so let's issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture. This is the one you guys were talking about. All right. So we'll issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture at today's proceeding. It's my understanding Ms. Jackson has multiple warrants. So that's all for the record in 23-01588. And then we're on the record docket 23-01983. That's People of the State of Michigan versus Juan Antonio Vargas. And I have it set for a pretrial and a PA 53 contempt violation.
He's downstairs, Judge. You didn't.
Oh, is he downstairs? Let's go ahead and bring him up then when we get a chance. All right.
That's one.
How about Mervine?
Irvine is mine.
Yeah.
You can call it, that's fine. She's
Are we sure she's not in custody still?
Yep.
No, she was, when the felony, at least here, got dismissed, they were both apparently PR bonds. So,
Oh, okay.
On Mervine?
yeah. I thought they were cash bonds, but
$520. There's Mr. Jackson. So we're on the record in docket 23-00892. Yeah, I only, and 23-20-0188 and 23-00892. That was the same one.
Yeah.
Okay. 188 and 892. And that has a bond violation on it too. All right. So that's People of the State of Michigan versus Elia Mervine. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Irvine.
All right, this is the time set. This was set for a pretrial on 1888-20-01888, a pretrial on 23-00892, and a pretrial on 23 on those two. Okay, and then an accompanying bond violation as to 20-01032. Which
For
is
the
in,
felony, Judge, I think.
yeah,
you mean
that's
for the
in the
misdemeanor,
yeah, that's in the file.
because that felony's closed.
With that understanding, Ms. Mervine, this was set for 10:30. I need a new ROA. Do you got an ROA? Run out of time. We're running out of space. We'll just just grab them when we get a chance. Don't let me forget though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're on the record, back on the record. This was set for, found it, okay. So this is 20-01888. No, put them. All right, this was set for 10:30, and that is 20-01888, and 23-00892 were both set for 10:30. It is now 11:08. It would appear that the defendant has failed to appear for pretrial. I did not see, or I've not seen Ms. Mervine in the Zoom courtroom, in the physical courtroom on any of these matters. And it would appear that Ms. Mervine does have a history of failed to appear at least 1, 2, 3 on the 20 file, on the 20-0188 file, and then 1 on the 23-00892 file. Mr. Brodowitz, how would you like to proceed?
With that, Your Honor, as the defendant has failed to appear, the people would ask that a bench warrant be issued and any bond be forfeited.
Ms. Robinson, any comment?
No comment.
All right. With the defendants failed to appear, a bench warrant and bond forfeiture is issued.
Yeah.
I'll make sure these are. This is a plea.
Yeah.
Are we set on that one?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
so that's all for the record. 20-01888 or 23-00892.
Great, thank you.
She was found confident. All right, so I stuck those in the files.
Yeah, that's what we're
Okay.
saying. Yeah, thank you.
We'll get as far as Vargas.
Okay. Here's my one.
23 days. So,
It is Vargas Ms. Sutter.
yes, Your Honor, that's what we're discussing right now.
Okay. How about Peoples?
We're ready on that one, Your Honor, if you'll just give us a second.
All right. Vargas and Suster.
I don't know, I tried.
You get them in the right order.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-01132. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Alex Peoples. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Peoples, who joins us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Alex Peoples?
That's right, sir.
All right, and you can hear me, Mr. Peoples?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial on the matter. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I believe we do have a plea worked out in this matter, and that would be for Mr. Peoples to plead to an added count 2 of trespass, which is PAC code 750.552, with an agreement to pay a restitution to Rite Aid in the amount of, I believe it was $109.47.
And trespass under 750.552, that's under the state of Michigan statute. What's the penalty on that?
So that is a 30-day and or $250 fine, Your Honor.
And is that an accurate statement, Ms. Sutter?
That is, Your Honor.
All right. Do we have any indication of how much time Mr. Peoples has in on this file?
Let me check, Your Honor, and then I'll do the math on that. He's also supposed to be in custody for another 2 months, he believes. I know he's been in at least since June 29th.
Okay. I'm just curious as to what's his time in this file, you know?
That's June 29th.
So June 29th.
I believe that makes it 27 days.
I'm asking my magic computer. That's what I did. 26 days.
26 days. Is there any objection to immediate sentencing on this, Mr. Brodowitz?
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor, please.
All right. All right, it's my understanding, Mr. Peoples, that you're going to be pleading guilty to the misdemeanor offense of trespass pursuant to 30 days. The ultimate the court could give you on this is 30 days and a $250 fine into that misdemeanor. Is that your understanding? With that, the retail fraud and the notice would be dismissed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, so it's a 90-day with a 1 year with the second offense. All right. All right. So in this case, sir, you have certain misdemeanor rights. I'll cover those rights with you. If your plea is accepted, you'll not have a trial of any kind, so you'll be giving up the following rights. You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question any witnesses brought against you. You, of course, are represented by Public Defender Lauren Sutter, and she would be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought against you. You would also have the right to have the court order any witnesses appear in your defense, to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises other than the talked about plea agreement or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'd also be giving up the right to appeal any trial issues since you would not be having a trial today. Is it my understanding it is your intent to waive your rights and plead guilty today to trespass?
That's right.
Okay, I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to bring your attention. Thank you. I'm going to bring your attention back to April 8th, 2023 at the offense location of City of Lansing, West Saginaw. Were you in the City of Lansing and West Saginaw on that April 8th, 2023 date?
Yes, sir.
All right. And did you trespass on property at that Saginaw, West Saginaw address, City of Lansing address that you knew you were not supposed to be on?
Yes, sir.
All right. I find the voluntary factual basis to be understanding, voluntary, and accurate. Anything in regards to the factual basis, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right. So I will find that the plea is understanding, voluntary, and accurate made without objection, which my understanding, and there is none, will go to immediate sentencing. I'll give credit for time served, which is 26 days. There's a $75 state fee, crime victims' right fee, and a $50 state fee. I'll be waiving any fines and costs. So that will be $125 to the City of Lansing. Restitution, right? Plus the restitution, and the restitution amount was $109.47. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
So 125 plus 109.47 is 234.47. And the 109.47, my understanding, is supposed to go to Rite Aid. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is there any red form in the?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Does your client need some time to pay? It's really the restitution amount. There's $125 in state fees, but the 109.47. Does your client need some time? And you indicated he's going to be incarcerated at some point.
That's correct. He believes around 2 months at this point, so I would ask the court to consider possibly 6 months for him to get released, get the money, pay it.
Let's go 120 days.
Okay, thank you.
I think we can go that. So let's do, give me 369, 120. Okay. So based on your current circumstances, we're going to go out to October, say again? 27th at 4. So make any payments, especially on the restitution to Rite Aid, but you have $234.47, and we've put that out to October 27th at 4 o'clock based on some of your present circumstances. All right, Mr. Peoples? All right. Anything else for the record in docket 2301132, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your
Ms.
Honor.
Sutter?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And so that's all for the record. Mr. Peoples, you're all set. Thank you.
I'm wondering if you could provide guidance really quickly, Your Honor, on what address I should use for Rite Aid. Should it be the store?
I would use the store.
Okay.
Yeah, I would use that store.
It's always the interesting thing with stores, is it that location, corporate headquarters?
Yeah.
That's the store location.
I would go to the store.
Yeah, I think it has to be, yeah.
All right. And then Ms. Sutter, you probably need a minute to talk to your client. Or
If you
not?
don't mind, yes,
Yeah,
Your Honor, thank you.
So let's take an adjournment and we'll let Ms. Sutter All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-01983. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Vargas, who is seated to my right.
And sir, you are Juan Vargas? All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in a People of the State of Michigan case. Mr. Brodowitz, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time also, just for the record, it was also set for a corresponding PA 53 violation.
Correct, yes.
But on this case, the people have made an offer for the defendant to plead to count 3, breaking and entering illegal entry without owner's permission, with a Killebrew agreement to time served. In this matter, I believe it's in excess of 20 some days on a 90-day misdemeanor. I believe the defendant is going to accept that plea, and then upon accepting of that plea, the people would also recommend not to proceed on the PA 53 violation.
All right, so let me make sure. The offer is to count 3, which is a plea to count 3 and dismiss counts 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
All right. And count 3 is as is. That doesn't need any amending or anything. That's just the plea to that misdemeanor count. Okay. Count 3. So. And then there's the Killebrew agreement to time served.
Yes, sir.
And is there no objection to immediate sentencing?
No objection, Your Honor.
And then as to there's a recommendation to dismiss the PA 53 violation.
Correct.
And I will grant that as part of the, I'll grant that separately from the process. Okay. All right. Ms. Sutter, is that your understanding of plea to count 3? Counts 1 and 2 are to be dismissed. There's no objection to immediate sentence. There's a Killebrew to time served. And there's a recommendation to dismiss the PA 53 violation. Is that your understanding?
It is.
All right. May I inquire of your client of his advice of rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, sir, you understand that you have certain rights in this misdemeanor case, and I'm going to walk you through those, all right? All right. The ultimate penalty, although there's been some discussions about time served, you're going to have a Killebrew agreement, which means that if I don't follow that, you can withdraw your plea. Do you understand that, sir? So as to the B&E, there's a Killebrew of time served. If I don't follow that agreement, you can withdraw your plea and we can start from scratch, okay? All right. But it's my understanding that that has an ultimate penalty of 90 days and or $500. And in regards to that misdemeanor plea, you have the following rights. You have the right to have a trial by jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question any witnesses brought against you by the people of the state of Michigan. You, of course, are represented by Public Defender Lauren Sutter, and she would be present to cross-examine any witness and contest any charges brought against you at trial. Do you understand that, sir? Yes, sir. Right. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you, and you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises other than the plea agreement talked about or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'll also be giving up the right to appeal any trial issues. Since you won't be having a trial, you'll be pleading guilty instead. Do you understand that, sir? Is it my understanding it is your intent today to waive those rights and plead guilty to the misdemeanor breaking and entering? All right. I'm going to have you raise your right hand as best you can. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to June 25th, 2023. at the offense location of Fayette Street in the city of Lansing, Ingham County. Were you on Fayette Street in the city of Lansing on June 25th, 2023?
Yes, sir.
All right. And at that time, did you enter without permission a dwelling or building located at 801 Fayette Street? Okay. And did you not have permission to enter that building?
I did not have any permission.
Okay. Any questions concerning the factual basis, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
Okay, I find the factual basis for count 3, the misdemeanor breaking and entering illegal entry without permission, to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made as to that count. With that understanding, then counts 1 of attempt R&O and counts 2 of MDOP less than 200 are dismissed. There's a Killebrew agreement to time served. My understanding, Ms. Sutter, the defendant has 20, what did you say?
He's been in custody since the evening of July 1st.
Okay.
So 24 days, I believe.
24 days. So I'll credit Killebrew time served for 24 days. I have a crime victims' rights fee of $75, a state fee of $50, fines and costs of $200, for a grand total of $75 plus 50 state plus 200 for fines and costs is $325. And does your client need some time to make that payment to the city of Lansing?
Yes, Your Honor, if you could allow him 60 days.
So 60 days to the city of Lansing. August 28th.
Just to double check, that's 30.
28. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Because we don't have to have it.
Sorry, I started wrong
Yeah.
day. September 25th.
Thank you.
September.
Oh, that's a Saturday, so September 25th.
September 25th. Okay, so September 25th. So you have till September 25th to pay to get to the city of Lansing the $325. You can pay by mail, by email, by phone, or you can show up right at the desk. Okay, sir. All right. Anything else for the record, docket 23? Oh, and as to the PA 53 violation of the recommendation of the prosecutor, the PA 53 at the recommendation of the prosecutor, the PA 53 dismissal is granted. Anything else for the record on 2301-983, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people. Your
Ms.
Honor.
Sutter?
Nothing further.
Okay, you're all right, sir. Good luck to you, okay?
So this is so we also so
We have 2 files with Susquehanna, right?
I think that's a function.
What's that?
I think so. My document is not working, so I'm having to rely on paper, which is very.
You're gonna be released on this case?
Yeah, I've got 2 left with Susquehanna.
Or tomorrow morning, how, it depends on how long it takes you to process the paperwork.
I just want to give you guys so you know to show up so they don't.
I got it in here. That one here.
It'll be down.
So you're come in person, or I'm gonna write down a Zoom number for you. So it looks like there's a new city police, I don't know if it's like a traffic ticket or something. If you need to
There's
log in,
also one from the afternoon we may be able to take
So,
care of right
in
now
2
as
days
well,
at
Your Honor.
that time, you're gonna log in.
All
with
right.
the Zoom number I'm gonna write
Which
down.
file is that?
Reedy.
I'm gonna borrow that from you.
BD.
It's part of it, I believe, Ms. Sutter doesn't have discovery yet on that one, but also, it's
Casinda?
listed on the docket as a dog at large, but when looking at the actual ticket that was issued, it's issued as a dog bite. So due to that, issue and the fact that the defense does not have, discovery yet.
Let me grab it. and we'll-
Okay.
We'll go ahead and put it on the record now.
It sounds like loud and boisterous. When you charge them, it's pretty low level for city case, but they're gonna have a court date for you in 2 days, but when you use Zoom, you can log into it. If they can't log in, Zoom, you have to come in person. I would have given you a heads up about this before, sorry, I didn't know about it.
That's on the fifth one?
Yes.
No,
If you come in person for it, yes.
You need a notice for that, Miss Sutter.
I gave it to him.
Yeah, I'm just writing down the Zoom number for Magistrate Melbourne for him. Apparently I don't have to save, so I'm looking at my email contact for it.
That's RIDI?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you need the IDs, Miss Sutter?
I just found it, Wendy.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Step 5. So this is the Zoom number you're gonna log into if you can on that day. If you can't log into this, you have to come in person. Up to you, and then you are all set. It was, yeah, is it? It's gonna be, right? So, that one. Yeah, I'll call. No problem. It's okay.
So shall I do this?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
You're all set. Yep. Right, so we're on the record in docket 22-01199 and 22-01200. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Rusty Sustorf. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Sustorf. I don't believe I've seen him this morning.
Right, I don't believe I've seen him either. This was scheduled for 10:30. It is now 11:45. I have not seen Mr. Sustorf in the Zoom courtroom or the physical courtroom. Ms. Sutter just checked the hallway, and it appears that the defendant has failed to appear for pretrial. On 2 unlicensed dog files. Mr. Brodowitz, how would you like to proceed?
At this time, Your Honor, as the defendant has failed to appear, the people would ask that a bench warrant be issued and any bond be forfeited.
And Ms. Sutter.
All right, this is a first failure to appear as far as I'm aware in this file, and it's a dog matter. I would ask the court to put a 48-hour hold on a bench warrant.
I'm going to put with the nature of the offense and the fact that any prior bench warrant comes from the arraignment stage, not from anything else. I'm going to issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold.
Thank you.
Anything else on the record in docket 22-01199 or 22-01200, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further.
All right, we're all set on those. And then we have one afternoon that I think we can do now. So we're on the record in docket 23-01903. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Casinda Riddy. The parties, please introduce themselves for the record.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Reedy. Given the change in time with her schedule, I'm going to be waiving her appearance today.
All right. And there's no objection, Mr. Brodowitz?
No, the people have no objection to waiving that appearance.
Presence waived. This is the time set for a pretrial on the matter. Mr. Brodowitz, how do you like to proceed? I do. So the ticket's a dog bite, but it's a dog at large on the file. Is that what you were indicating?
Yes,
One
Your
of the
Honor.
things.
There's a discrepancy between the docket entry and the ticket. And on top of that, after conversations with Ms. Sutter, I believe she does not yet have discovery on this matter. And so for that, I believe the parties would be asking for an adjournment on this matter.
All right. And that's a correct statement, Ms. Sutter?
On all counts, yes.
Okay, so we'll ask for an adjournment for discovery And also figure out the ticket versus the file dog at large versus the ticket. And how many days were you looking at for discovery purposes?
I'm not sure how long it takes their office,
Right.
maybe 2 weeks to
2 to 3 weeks.
four.
I think 2 weeks would be sufficient for our office
All
to
right.
get a discovery.
So whatever you can get close to that date.
August 15th at 9.
All right. So we'll set it for August 15th at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Anything else for the record? 2301903, Mr. Brodowitz.
Nothing from the people.
Ms. Sutter?
Just because I lost touch with reality there for a second, the date one more time, August 15th. Is that what-
August 15th at 9 a.m. If you had asked me, I wouldn't have known if I didn't look in the files. All right, that concludes the morning, and I'll see you this afternoon, huh?
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Thankfully, it looks